Always a favourite on every rural road. Hyundai Country Calendar.
Blue cod, paua and kina from the remote Chatham Islands.
It's something that we as islanders are really proud of, and it's just awesome that we're able to share it with the rest of the world.
We've built an incredible life here, and it's a magical spot for children to grow up.
The challenges here with running a business is that nothing's at your fingertips here, nothing.
Tummy's got fat.
The Tuanui children are the 9th generation of their family to be born on the remote Chatham Islands. Delwyn Tuanui met his Australian wife Gigi while he was studying in Melbourne, and now he's returned to the island. They've set up a seafood export business while also raising a family in New Zealand's most isolated community.
Being here on the island for 8 generations, I'm related to most people, so it was pretty fortunate actually that I managed to get to Australia and find an Aussie girl and bring her back here. It's not always easy when you're out here. Yeah.
Diversify the old gene pool. I think initially moving here was a big shock to the system, leaving my family and my friends behind and the life I knew, but it's also great. We're just creating something really special that is true to our values, and it's me and Del doing it together with an incredible team of people around us, but it's just being in charge of our own destiny and really creating something that is really meaningful for us.
Gigi and I met in Melbourne when I was studying agribusiness. She was in my class and started giving me cheek about being a sheep shagger from New Zealand. That was it, one look at her eyes, and yeah, she had me.
Del was at university to gain marketing and business skills with the focus of marketing the food from the island, and he started bringing the blue cod in and distributing it to chefs while he was at university. So when we got together, I started helping him out with that, and that eventuated into 3 years in Melbourne. But to really grow the business further, we had to invest back here on the island, and that was sort of the catalyst that brought us back here. That, and we wanted to start a family. We were newlyweds, and I can't think of a much better spot to bring up children.
I think it's how a lot of Chatham Islanders really connect to the land, because that's our backyard.
It's a backyard surrounded by deep ocean, full of big blue cod. But calm conditions are rare on this windswept island, so fishing often begins before dawn.
The guys are out, they're getting away early, and they're working flat stick for 8-10 hours a day, sometimes longer, in pretty tough conditions. We're in sub-Antarctic island in the roaring 40s, so they are limited to when they can get out, so if it's half decent they need to go. Blue cod's where it all started for Chatham Food Co, and it has a really special place in my heart because of that. It's all caught on day boats, so the boys are going out in the morning, back in the evening. They're all using pots, and those pots are down for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. The fish are swimming in. If they're small, if they're undersized, there's large mesh that allow them to swim out. So really, really low impact fishing on the environment. When the pots are hauled up after that 20-30 minutes, the magic really starts to happen then. It's at that point that, our supply chain, I guess, kicks in, and the focus becomes about getting it over the side of the boat and getting it into a nice slurry as fast as we can. That's really sort of what we're aiming to do.
That's better. Yeah.
All locals fishing for us, fishing families, most of them generational fishers, fathers, grandfathers have all fished.
Delwyn's cousins, Josh and Chase, grew up on the boats.
It's awesome, yeah. Fishing with my dad and my brother. I suppose, keeping it in the family. No, it's good. Catching a lot of big stuff these days. They've changed the size on the mesh, so all the small ones can get out. So you're always getting that big fish, which is bloody good. Everything gets a chance to grow.
I love it. This is where it all began for me, really, was blue cod. You know, when we first came back to the island, getting out on the boats with the fishers, working with them, working alongside them. It's an iconic fish for the island. I think it's something that we as islanders are really proud of, and it's just awesome that we're able to share it with the rest of the world.
Back on land, the day's catch is unloaded and trucked to their processing factory in Orwinga.
It's the gateway to Pitt Island, so a lot of really good fishing ground around here. It's predominantly a fishing village. We bought it 2014 and it was fairly run down old site, and we've spent the last 5 years slowly chipping away to make the whole processing facility run a lot more efficiently. The fish comes off the boat in dough labs. It's been slurried in ice, and that's something that we're really focusing on, that quality on the boat. Icing, slurrying, that cold chain, getting that temperature right. It then goes onto our processing tables. The guys are taking the side of the fish off, the slab we call it, and then from there it goes to the ladies and they're filleting, skinning and boning. And they're washed in the chilled seawater, and then they get packed and into the blast freezer. The key is to get them off the boat, get them processed into a box and get those beautiful fillets down to minus 45 degrees as fast as we can, and really lock in that freshness and that flavour. Kinda a bit different. It's up on the table again, and we're cracking the egg, and then the caviar on the inside. It gets spooned out, gets washed, and then goes into little 500 gram pots ready for the supermarket shelf or the retail store. And the best way to eat it is to grab that pot, rip the lid off, and just straight down the hatch. You know, I remember our first night processing, we did about 300 kilos. This is nice and easy, sweet job done out of here. The next day we had 4 tonne landed on us. Gigi walks up to me at midnight. She's got the belly out here and she's got the clipboard riding weights. And she's got tears in her eyes and she says, "What have we done?" And I looked at her and I didn't have an answer. I think, you know, that the enormity of what we'd taken on really dawned on us on that second day of opening. But we got through it, and, you know, now we sort of process around 250 tonne of blue cod a year, around 100 tonne of kinna, and then a bit of power and also ling. So it's growing and it's great.
But then they had to deal with a new hurdle.
Since COVID, we've really had to diversify our business drastically. We just had to think bloody quickly, didn't we? On the spot. 6 weeks later, we launched our home delivery service.
But then COVID, the ability to do it, because we had no options and we had nothing to lose.
Whereas before it almost seemed too hard to do, we just did not have a choice.
Their product goes to the airport to be freighted to mainland New Zealand and beyond.
We're 800 kilometres from the mainland, so getting stuff in, getting stuff out is really what makes the island tick.
So we've just got some live power here at the airport today. Off to New Zealand and then down for overseas markets.
Pretty hard case actually. The passengers and freight go on the plane. Instead of sitting next to a person, you might be sitting next to a box of our live power or some crayfish or fresh cod.
The mainland is over 2 hours away by air. But sending sheep and beef to market is a very different challenge.
Get on, boy! Get on, boy!
With his business and family spread across the remote Chatham Islands, Delwyn Tuanui spends a lot of time in his truck. It's a quiet life away from mainland New Zealand, but the island has a strong sense of community.
Everyone waves to each other here. Here we go. Yeah, some put a lot into it. There's the big full mitt. You know, a few of the young fellas are doing the pretty cool gangster sort of throwback on the dashboard. A few of the older fellas just lift the finger. So it's a nice way to acknowledge everyone, you know. Heading out to the family farm this morning. out at the Tuku, where I grew up.
The home farm is a sprawling hill block, flanked by 4,000 hectares of bush reserve on one side and 10 kilometres of raging Southern Ocean on the other.
Get in, flirt.
Delwyn's father, Bruce, has been farming in the elements here for over 35 years.
We can get extreme conditions, that's for real. Some massive seas at times, and 30, 40 knot southwest coming through. We're on the exposed end of the island, so southwest hits us first basically. We shelter the rest of the Chathams. It's challenging, but island life has its rewards as well. I'm a second generation farmer. My father brought it off the previous owner. Parents gifted 2,500 acres of that to the Crown, but we're left with approximately 5,000 acres now.
This valley here is probably my most favourite part of the island. You know, lots of memories here as a kid, eeling, diving, fishing and hunting in the bush behind us, so it's a pretty special place.
Hey boy, get in, hey boy.
Farming here on the island is challenging because of the isolation.
And fours.
Not only is it extremely hard to get things in and expensive, but getting produce out to market is even more challenging.
That'll do, pause. Grace.
Farmers are essentially farming around a shipping service, which can be hard.
That'll do, pause. Freight is a huge cost on farming on the Chathams. There's no local market for stocks, so everything has to be shipped off. Get on, boy! Get on! It all adds up. You know, when you're paying $30 a lamb freight and grazing and commission, it bites into the profit. But it's actually a bit calmer down here, isn't it?
Yeah, that's good.
We are fairly exposed, but we're in a bit of a bubble here. The wind hits the cliffs and comes straight up over the top. Might be screaming 30, 40 knots, but most times we're reasonably sheltered here.
Dad's a bit of a hard man, he's pretty old school. He leads from the front when it comes to work and takes a huge amount of pride in this place. He'll be here to the end of his days.
We've been to New Zealand, we go out most years, but miles too many people in the city for me. You know, I like a good, quiet, open country, so no, you wouldn't find me living in the city anywhere. Okay, time.
Bruce and his wife Liz are passionate about conservation. They're instrumental in preserving and protecting the habitat of a seabird that was once declared extinct, the Taiko.
You leave some for us, Billy?
The Taiko is arguably the world's rarest seabird, and it's predominantly found here at the headwaters of this valley, but it's under pressure from predators. Back when I was young, Dad and I fenced an area called Sweetwater into a predator-proof area, and the Taiko Trust has been able to relocate birds from the nature reserve into that protected area and establish a colony for these extremely rare birds, so it's an incredibly special place, really.
Building the predator fence was an extreme mission.
Took 2 years.
We got there in the end, and the regrowth in that area has been phenomenal.
Yeah, it's just an example of what happens when you fence off established pieces of bush to protect them. You know, they're really a nursery of their own.
The Taiko is a petrel, a nocturnal seabird notoriously difficult to spot in the wild. Conservationist Dave Boyle is charged with caring for the chicks and the well-being of the entire colony.
So yeah, do you see how much smaller this one is?
He lives at the Taiko camp for 10 months of the year and is crucial to the bird's survival.
Dave Boyle runs the Taiko side of things for the Trust. It's his passion, his dedication that has helped the birds get to where they are today.
We're hoping this will be the first year with over 30 chicks fledge. That's never happened yet. So yeah, we're hoping for 33. We've got 33 chicks on the go at the moment.
The outstanding performer,
Yep.
Dave.
Yeah, this is the biggest one in here.
What's he weigh, you reckon?
He's probably 700-800 grams at least already, and he's only a couple of months old.
It's very rewarding to see the population increase as it has. You know, it's very close to the coast. It's got everything the birds need, so it was a no-brainer really not to fence it.
It's such a privilege as tangata whenua of this land to be involved in that. There's amazing things being created, and it's just really important that we hold it and pass it over to our kids, hopefully in the future.
The deep waters around the Chatham Islands are an abundant fishing ground.
Eyes in the back of my head.
The Chatham Island Food Company's signature product is blue cod, but they also export kina and live paua, hand-gathered by local divers.
It's a pretty tough job. You know, I did it when I was younger. It's a great job, and you know, you get really fit and you have some magic days on the water, but it's tough. This place is known for great whites, and a lot of these guys have had 10 plus encounters with them.
The Lenores family from Pitt Island are not deterred by the sharks. They're one of Delwyn's main suppliers.
The boys grew up together, you see, so they know each other, they work well together, and Delwyn being an island boy, you know, it's good to see the boys supporting him. They're not too bad. Not too bad.
Yeah, good man. Plenty more here anyway.
That's it, boys. Get out of the bloody water.
Traditionally, paua has been set off the island, you know, put into a can. There's been a shift over the last few years away from that and into a more live and more natural product. And it's been really exciting, it's been challenging for the divers because they've had to learn how to handle the product with a lot more care.
One of the great things about doing live is, you know, that it's not all this smash and grab anymore. We're going through areas, and because there is more value in what we're catching, you can really focus on your quality, and we're only looking for the big ones, the 500 gram plus. Anything smaller is just getting that time to grow and still be there when we come back next time.
Back on land, Delwyn's wife Gigi plays a key role in the logistics side of the business, while she also juggles a young family.
Say hi, Jackie.
Hi, Mia.
Some days she's got to bring 3 kids to work, but this is a family business, you know, and they're our family. And sometimes it's like a bloody nursery in there, you know, there's kids everywhere.
Oh, that's enough. We have 3 young kids, a 6-year-old, a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old, so it is very tricky to juggle the business with the kids and have any sort of sanity left over.
See who's fishing today?
A big part of what I'm currently doing now and working on is our home delivery part of the business. So since COVID, we've set up a new arm to the business, which is going directly from here to the customer. I'm a farm girl at heart. I grew up on a beef property. All I wanted to be was a farmer. I ended up as a fishwife. But I love it. It's an incredible business where we can be involved with so many people within the community and make a positive impact.
I don't know how she does it, but she's able to deal with kids in a household and help me. And I think she's just got that real can-do attitude, you know, and nothing's a problem, and that's what I love about her.
We live on the edge of a little village, Tioni, and we've got 3 acres here. Okay. Oh, she's got me. Oh. Rocco calls it our kid farm. We've got, you know, most things that we need here. Woohoo! We got some tomatoes. We've got 2 horses, got chooks and a veggie garden and a dog, and, you know, we try to grow all of our own veggies. It's quite challenging getting food in, like you have to fly it in on the plane or wait for the boat to turn up when it arrives. It might be 6 weeks or 2 months between boats. And so the more self-sufficient you can be, not just because it's a fad thing to do, just out of necessity.
Delwyn and Gigi enjoy showing customers where their product comes from. And they host visiting chefs who use their product in high-end restaurants on the mainland.
We've had Tom Hishin from Kingy Restaurant in Auckland over. He's brought his team out. And it's really about getting them out here, getting them in the water with me, taking them to one of our family spots and you know, I showed him, you know, the paua beds and the kinner beds and had a look at some of the fish that are getting around and also just get a feel for our way of living and our way of life, and that's been really cool.
I love the Chathams. The people are amazing, the produce is incredible, and there's no cell phone reception. What we do at Kingy Restaurant is all about provenance, but it's also connecting the diner with stories of the people out there that are gathering it. So it's really special. What's your favourite part of the cod to eat?
You know, I grew up eating the old bloody battered cod with tomato sauce.
Yeah.
Dare I say it?
The OG.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably enough for a feed anyway.
The Chathams is a long way from downtown Britomart, so I think for these guys it's been a real eye-opener to see the rawness and the remoteness of this island. The hunter-gatherer way of life is still very important to us in our culture, so that has really opened their eyes up to the Chatham Island way of life. Yeah.
Back at home, the kitchen has moved from the beach to the garage as the chefs cook the day's catch.
It's been a bit of fun actually, and bloody tasty, I might add. I love the fact that we've had Tom out here and he's able to share what he's doing with our seafood, with our local people. It just, everything feels right, you know. I guess it's like full circle for us. It's been great. We've got an amazing group of friends and family, and we've got a vision that we have that's ours, and we get to do it together, but we're also bringing these incredible people with us, because without them it wouldn't be anything, you know, so that is awesome. I love that.
Next time.
Time management is a big thing, and I guess sometimes I say yes to too many things.
Welcome to our extraordinary council meeting.
Your brain needs something outside of farming. Council sort of made sense.
I fully support what Councillor Humphreys is saying. The other councillors love the variation I provide. Good yarns, I guess.
That's next time on Hyundai Country Calendar.
Country Calendar was brought to you by Hyundai New Zealand.